The first $10,000 you save will not make you rich. Your rent will still be annoying. Groceries will still be disrespectful. Your car can still wake up one morning and choose violence for absolutely no reason. But something changes. A flat tire stops feeling like financial death. A random bill stops automatically becoming credit card debt. And for the first time, money starts feeling less like panic and more like control. So today, I want to show you why everything changes after your first $10,000, what that money actually protects, and how to build it the right way without turning your life into financial punishment. Because the biggest change is not what you can buy. It is what you no longer have to tolerate. Before you have real savings, money does not feel like math. It feels like weather. You just wake up and hope nothing weird happens. You hope your car starts. You hope your hours do not get cut. You hope your phone survives another month, even though the battery is acting like it has a personal problem with you. You hope rent, groceries, gas, your phone bill, subscriptions, and credit card minimums all fit inside the same paycheck without starting a fight in your bank account. And even when everything technically works, it still feels fragile because your nervous system knows the truth. There is no wall behind you. That is why $10,000 matters. Not because it makes you rich, not because it turns you into some finance bro who starts saying things like assets at dinner. It matters because it gives your life a wall. And if you have been living paycheck to paycheck, that wall changes how everything feels. Here is the honest version. A lot of people are not broke because they are lazy. They are broke because life is expensive, timing is brutal, and one normal problem can hit at the exact wrong moment. Rent is due Friday. Payday is next Wednesday. The car needs a repair today. The dentist wants payment now. The phone bill does not care that groceries already bullied your checking account. So you swipe the credit card, borrow from someone, overdraft, skip something, or just mentally leave your body for a few minutes while pretending everything is fine. No shame, just data. If a $1,000 problem happened tomorrow, what would you actually do? Not the fantasy version where you become perfectly disciplined by sunrise. The real version. Would you use cash? Would you use a credit card? Would you borrow? Would you skip another bill? Would you panic and start moving money around like you are defusing a bomb in a movie? That question is important because it shows you your real buffer. So before we even talk about building $10,000, open your bank app and your notes app. Write down your checking balance, your savings balance, your credit card balance, your next rent date, your next paycheck date, and the biggest normal emergency that would stress you out. Not a meteor hitting your apartment. A normal emergency. Car repair, medical copay, broken phone, moving cost, emergency flight, something that happens to regular people all the time. That little buffer check tells you something powerful. You are not weak because money feels stressful. Money feels stressful because your life is exposed. And once you see that clearly, you stop making it about shame and start making it about structure. Now here is where the first $10,000 starts changing everything. The first change is simple. Emergencies stop automatically turning into debt. A $600 car repair is still annoying. A medical copay is still annoying. A broken phone is still annoying. But annoying and financially dangerous are not the same thing. When you have $200 saved, one normal problem can become 3 months of credit card interest. It can become a missed payment. It can become that nasty feeling where you are still paying for an emergency long after the emergency is over. But when you have $10,000 saved, the same problem becomes something you handle, recover from, and move on from. You do not love paying for it. Nobody is skipping through the parking lot excited to buy a new tire, but the tire does not get to become your personality for the next 6 paychecks. It stays a tire. That is the goal. The goal is not to make problems disappear. The goal is to stop problems from becoming debt. So here is the first practical move. Make a list called Real Emergencies. Put the stuff on it that could actually happen in your life. Car repair, medical or dental bill, broken phone, emergency travel, moving cost, pet bill, job loss gap, family emergency. Then next to each one, write a rough number. Not perfect, just real enough to wake you up. Maybe a car repair is $700, maybe emergency travel is $600, maybe moving costs $2,000. You are not building savings around a fantasy. You are building it around the life you actually live. But the real power of $10,000 is not only that it pays for emergencies, it gives you time to stop making panic decisions. And this part is huge. When you have no savings, urgency gets expensive. You take the bad job because rent is due. You stay with the toxic roommate because moving costs money. You accept the terrible schedule because you cannot afford a gap. You keep the overpriced car because fixing the mistake feels impossible. You say yes to things you should probably say no to because your bank account has no room for a slower, better decision. When you have no runway, you do not choose. You escape. A $10,000 buffer gives you something underrated: time to choose. It does not mean you can quit your job dramatically and walk into the sunset while inspirational music plays. This is not a movie. But it might mean you can leave a terrible situation with a plan. It might mean you can wait 2 extra weeks for a better job offer. It might mean you can move without putting every single expense on a credit card. It might mean you can fix a problem instead of making a worse problem because you were desperate. Here is how to calculate your runway. Take your cash savings and divide it by your basic monthly expenses. Basic means the stuff required to keep your life running: rent, utilities, groceries, gas or transportation, insurance, phone, and minimum debt payments. Not vacations, not random Amazon, not Target because you just needed one thing and somehow left with a candle, socks, and emotional confusion. Just the basics. If you have $10,000 saved and your basic month costs $2,500, you have about 4 months of runway. That means if life gets weird, you have 4 basic months before everything catches fire. That does something to your brain. You still have problems, but the problems no longer own your whole nervous system. And once you know what breathing room feels like, something weird happens. Random spending gets less impressive. Not because you become cheap. Not because you suddenly hate fun. Not because you move into a cave and start judging people for buying coffee, but because peace becomes something you can compare purchases against. That $90 impulse order now has to compete with the feeling of not panicking. That financed gadget has to compete with breathing room. That upgraded car payment has to compete with the freedom of knowing you can survive a bad month. Once you know what peace feels like, random spending has to work harder to impress you. So before you buy something non-essential, ask 3 questions. Will I still care about this after the excitement fades? Is this worth slowing down my $10,000 goal? Would I still want this if nobody saw it? Those 3 questions are not there to ruin your life. They are there to protect your peace. You can still buy things. You are not joining a monastery. You are just making the purchase prove it deserves your money. And then there is the part people do not talk about enough. $10,000 makes social pressure weaker because when you have no buffer, you can start using spending to prove you are okay. Every dinner, every trip, every outfit, every weekend, every upgrade becomes a performance. You are not just buying the thing, you are buying the feeling of not looking behind. But money in the bank gives you quiet confidence, not loud confidence, not flex confidence. The kind where you can say, I'm good, and not need a courtroom defense for why you are protecting your money. You can say, that's not in my budget this month. You can say, I'm building my emergency fund. You can say, I'm keeping things simple right now. You can say, let's do something cheaper. And the world keeps spinning. The first real flex is not showing people you have money. It is not needing their approval to keep it. Now here is where people mess this up. They finally save money, then keep it in a place where it is way too easy to spend. So let's talk about how to build and protect your first $10,000 correctly. First, do not keep emergency money in the same place where you buy tacos at midnight. If the money sits in checking, your brain will treat it like available spending money. It does not matter how mature you feel on payday. 3 stressful days later, checking money starts looking suspiciously available. So separate it. Open a separate savings account or a separate savings bucket. Name it emergency fund or freedom fund. The name matters because the job matters. This money has one job: protect your life. Not vacations, not clothes, not gadgets, not I had a hard week and deserve something shiny money. Emergency money should be accessible, but not too easy to spend impulsively. Ideally, it is not attached to your debit card. It is not sitting in checking. And it is not invested in something risky where the value can drop right when life decides to get dramatic. But if $10,000 feels too big, do not stare at the mountain. Build the ladder. Start with 500, then 1,000, then one basic month, then 5,000, then 10,000. That is the ladder. $500 is your mini wall. $1,000 is your first real breath. One basic month is your first runway. 5,000 is where things start feeling different. 10,000 is where your life starts feeling protected. A huge goal becomes less scary when you stop trying to swallow it whole. If you are at zero, your job is not to emotionally process $10,000 today. Your job is to reach the next step. That is it. You are not behind, you are building. Now, the latter does not matter if you only save when motivation visits. Motivation is not a savings plan. It is a mood with a short battery life. You can wake up inspired, watch 3 money videos, promise yourself a whole new life, and then by Thursday, DoorDash is whispering your name like a toxic ex. That is why the next move is automation. Set an automatic transfer on payday or the day after payday, even if it is $25, even if it feels tiny. The amount can grow later. The identity starts now. Future. You finally gets paid on purpose. Open your bank app, go to transfers, choose your savings account, set the amount, pick payday or the day after payday, and make it recurring. 25, 50, 100, whatever is real for your life right now. Then increase it after a raise, after paying off a debt, after canceling a subscription, or after getting side income. You do not build $10,000 by hoping money is left. You build it by paying future you first. But automation needs fuel. So now we find the first money without making your life miserable. And no, we are not doing rich guy nonsense. I am not telling you to sell everything you own and eat sadness for dinner. We are looking for leaks. Find the first $100 by checking what is already quietly draining you. One unused subscription, one delivery order to skip, one item to return, one thing to sell, one bill to negotiate, one unnecessary app payment, one expensive phone plan, one impulse category to pause for a week. You are not becoming cheap. You are finding the leaks that keep stealing your breathing room. But here is the rule. Find it, then move it immediately. Do not say, I saved $100, and leave it sitting in, checking where it can get eaten by snacks, gas, and one mysterious Target run. Move it into the emergency fund right away. The transfer is what turns the idea into progress. And once you finally start building it, you need rules, because emotions will try to rename your emergency fund. A vacation will call itself self-care. A gadget will call itself productivity. A shopping trip will call itself a fresh start. A car upgrade will call itself responsible because the old car made one weird noise. No. Your first $10,000 is not permission to upgrade your lifestyle. It is the floor under your life. Use it for real emergencies. Use it for life protection, not lifestyle upgrades. If you use it, rebuild it. Review it once a month. Do not check it every day like entertainment. And when you reach $10,000, do not treat it like the finish line. Treat it like the floor, then build the next goal separately. Because the first $10,000 will not make you rich, but it can make you calmer, harder to scare, and harder to control with every random bill life throws at you. It can turn a bad day back into a bad day instead of a bad year. It can give you time, options, and a little space to breathe. And if you are building that kind of control on a normal paycheck, that is what Leon Knows Money is here for. No shame, no fake millionaire advice, no rich guy nonsense. Just simple systems that help ordinary people understand money and build real freedom. Stick around. We are building the kind of wealth nobody has to pretend to have.